Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A pleasure to be with you here in beautiful, beautiful Marrakech.
Yes.
I think you're one of these few actors who seems to be able to traverse so many different aspects of the industry. I mean, starting off in your native France and making your way all the way through drama and comedy roles and right up to Hollywood. What have been some of your favourite roles? Maybe Andrea in Call My Agent?
Yeah. Well, I think Andrea, I owe her a lot. It was a question that I had, like, what do you owe Andrea? And I think because of this surprising success during COVID, and the funny thing is, I was so, I mean, like everybody, obviously, but and professionally, I was so depressed because I remember Tom McCarthy's film had been shot already, fortunately, but we didn't know when it would come out, and then I was out of job, and then I thought, I was so pessimistic, and I had no idea that during this moment, Call My Agent was being streamed, and this is what really, helped me being more identified. So, but anyway, that's for the little story. But I think, I think this character really changed a lot for me, and I loved meeting Tom. I mean, it's difficult because that would imply hierarchy, whereas Ridley, I've only met him 6 days, but I'm astonished by his energy, by his creativity. Tom has become a friend, and I really love him. And Kenneth really helped this theatrical dimension of the Shakespearean actor was something I really enjoyed working with, because what he expected from the diction, the theatrical approach of cinema, and I really liked it. So every experiences were really lovable.
And another big hitter to add to that list, working alongside Helen Mirren in Golda. What was it like seeing her take on a role like that and working opposite her? And did you get any tips from her?
I was watching her, and she is so creative. She's so sensitive. She has an incredible technique also. And but nevertheless, it's so subtle. I was astonished and she had a lot to do because, I mean, we're all in studios, and it was very roots. You know what I mean? It was an old school, transformed in studios, but very, very, very simple. It was not at all the big Hollywood studio, not at all. And she would deal with those false legs and prosthetics and the war context and the accent. And I mean, so many things she had to compose with. It seemed effortless, totally effortless. So I was, to be honest, when I was told that this director offered me a part in this movie with Helen Mirren, and I heard Helen Mirren, and I was like, there's no way, I want to see her working. This is a privilege. So it was one of the reasons why I wanted to be there.
And can you tell us a bit about The Empire, working with Bruno Dumont alongside Lily Rose Depp? I think I read space opera, is that right? Oh.
It's completely crazy. Bruno Dumont is a really free spirit, and it's quite unique, I would say, because he really enables himself. He doesn't prevent himself from doing anything out of fear or whatever. And the film is just so original, I would say. It's great. I loved it, and it's pure moments of cinema. But it's also very surprising because it looks like nothing else.
And what are your reflections on the French cinema industry at the moment? Obviously, you've seen perhaps both sides of it, seeing it from a Hollywood side, and then perhaps when you go home to France.
I have to say that French cinema is in an incredible state, considering the two previous Palme d'Or were French and French women director, that Le Lion de Venise was also French, so Julia Ducournau, Justine Triet, Audrey Diwan, Alice Diop. So it's marvelous. It's very, very rich.
Does it sometimes feel like it's maybe a bit of a divide? I mean, with Adele Hanel did this really punk move of sort of standing up, I think, you know, not agreeing necessarily with some of the programming at Cannes, et cetera, et cetera. So do you think there is some tension going on in that?
Oh, there was definitely at that time. And I think that she was so brave. And I always thought that this was a very strong reaction gesture, and I admire her a lot. I've always admired Adele Haenel, and anytime she speaks, I want to listen to what she has to say, because I think it's always interesting. But there have been some consequences, and in a good way. Some things have changed since then. So yeah, it keeps moving in the good direction, I think.
And even though you've taken on all these like, very dramatic roles, do you feel like your heart still lies in comedy? And I was going to say as well about this time you'd spent in the UK. Do you think you've kind of got a bit of the British humour that seeps into the French humour?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wish. I don't know. Maybe some British people would say not at all in your dreams. But I'm very sensitive to British humour. I love British humour. And I love, that's completely stupid to make generality, but I love British. I mean, I'm very sensitive to the British way of life, I think, and I enjoy very much working with British people, really. And I hope my British agents were my first agents. Then I met an American agent. He was here at Christian O'Dell, and I was so happy to see him. And yes, I hope I can work in England again many times. I have to improve my English for that.
Jodie Comer was a total blast.
Oh, what an actress.
And just quickly, very finally, being on the jury here at Marrakech Film Festival, chance to see all these amazing films. Do you feel any responsibility, or is it just a pleasure?
Oh yeah, I do, of course. But the selection is so edgy. I mean, the quality of the films are breathtaking, and it's like first or second debut or second films, and we are all astonished at the craft and the maîtrisé. So yes, we have a responsibility of it's not easy. When all the films are great, it's not easy. But there's a great jury, so it's really enjoyable to hear everybody talking about films and try to build a reflection on it. Joanna Hogg, one of your national treasure. I mean, I was so thrilled to know that she would be in the jury.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for your time. Really enjoy your time here in Marrakech.
Thank you, you too. Thank you.